Good morning. This is November 1, Wednesday, 2023, and we are in BBIS first semester English class. And before the Dasai vacation started, we were reading Manju Shree's text, Rhymes with Fund You Free, where we read about the themes of identity, themes of alienation, and other characteristics of diaspora writing. Let me find where is that covered. So, if I check whom I had assigned this, it's not written here. So, I guess, can you please remind me who was given this essay? I won't call you for presentation today. Just remind me. Who was given to present on this essay, School is Bad for Children? Okay. Okay. So let's okay. Okay, so in chapter 2, that is titled as Education, we have three major goals of this chapter, as we can see, right? For example, this chapter will present essays which discuss the purpose of education, why we go to school and college. And then we will also read essays that discuss problems with educational systems. For example, problems with the way teachers teach us, the problems with the way discipline in charges behave with us, the problems with the way the schools, buildings are constructed, and others. And then we will also read essays which discuss the roles of students and teachers. What roles do they play, or what roles should they play? Okay, and we'll also consider in some essays, I guess not all essays are in our course, but because you have the textbook, you can, if you find time, choose to read more essays. So we'll read about similarities in education among different cultures. For example, are there any similarities in the way teachers teach in Nepal and in America? And what might be the differences, right? Then we'll read essays that talk about teaching and learning style. For example, this teacher in this class right now is using so much technology. This college is using a smart board. So style. This class today seems to be teacher-centered, right? Probably this class will be teacher-centered. Then the use of technology we'll see. Look, in this class, the teacher has got a laptop, there is a tripod, there is a Sony GV1 camera, there is a Rode mic recorder, there is a smart board. Look how much paraphernalia, all the wires around, and it took this teacher to 10 minutes to install all these things. So how technology is coming in education. I just remember how my teachers came, or how I went to class 30 years before. Just a duster and chalk and a book and probably attendance sheet. Then definition of intelligence. I don't know if we have this in new course. Maybe we have. There is an essay on multiple intelligences. Traditionally, intelligence is defined as your IQ score. And that IQ score is determined on the basis of your score in mathematical test and in language test. For example, the CUMAT you took for coming here, that CUMAT you took last time was primarily based on questions on language and questions on mathematics, verbal reasoning and mathematical reasoning. But today, that definition of intelligence is not appropriate, and we have a new definition of intelligence today. Today, intelligence is defined as your ability to solve problems. So as I teach you, I saw him yawning at the back, and I reflect, when we teachers lecture in class like this and we don't make you active, you feel lazy and yawn, right? So this way of teaching is, this style of teaching is wrong, right? Because it makes you lazy and makes me active. So maybe I'll switch in a while. I might call him to come and present in a while. I don't know. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay. So there are some questions to consider in this chapter. What does it mean to be educated and intelligent person? These are two same. So traditionally, people might think that being educated means knowing a lot of facts. So have you seen, if you can memorize a lot of things, you get good grades many times. And if you have good grades, then people say you are well educated, right? So traditionally, education is defined as having a degree, right? Knowing a lot of things. Today, education is not knowing a lot of things and having a degree. Education is skills. Skills to solve your life problems. If you can solve the challenges you face in life, then you are educated, right? Education is your ability to observe the surrounding, your ability to identify the characteristics of the environment you are in, your ability to identify if there lies a problem in the situation, your ability to identify the problem, then your ability to look for the solutions, your ability to search for the solutions, your ability to apply the solutions and solve the problem and move ahead. That's what education is. In short, education is ability to cope up with the difficulties of life and lead a more comfortable life. That's why educated people are believed to have a more comfortable life. Then, what are the strengths and weaknesses of the educational system with which you are most familiar? One obvious example, right now you can watch me, what I'm doing, I'm lecturing, I'm explaining, I'm showing content on the smart board, I'm making you listen to me. People cannot listen more than 20 minutes, science says. And I'll make a listen 2 hours today. That's yeah. Is 1 hour? 1 hour, okay. Even that's too much, that's too bad. So here is an obvious example. See, strength, weakness. Teachers lecture, teachers speak a lot in class, and they do not allow students to participate in class. The only thing you are doing right now is you are nodding and or shaking, right? The only thing. But that's a bad thing. That's a weakness. Now strength, you can see, strength is, for example, we have a lot of technological support, and sometimes I feel if I want to have a teacher-centered class where my purpose is just to deliver a content, then such technology is quite useful. I can look how properly I can display my laptop screen over there, right? Then are students in this educational system encouraged to express their opinions and disagree with their classmates and teachers. Yesterday and day before yesterday, in the other two classes, what I did was I told them to develop questions. They developed questions. Then I asked those questions to themselves and they answered. There was more interaction. But I do realize that many times in our classes, there is no interaction, right? It's like this as today. I'm designing my class as an example of what they're saying. So this is a bad thing, right? We should encourage you to speak, agree, disagree, argue. What differences are you aware of between the educational system in the country you are studying in now and another country with which you are familiar? I studied in two countries, Nepal and India. My primary education, school education, college education was in India, and I also studied in Nepal. I don't find much difference in these two countries. Both countries have the concept of guru. Both countries have teacher as an authority. Both countries have lecture system. So I don't see much difference, and I have no idea how they teach in other countries. So, okay, what difference? Yes. To what extent does technology, including computers and the internet, enhance and hinder education? Yes, technology enhances. For example, right now I can log into the internet and I can show you a lot of things. I can play video from YouTube, right? That way, that's a good thing. I can go for Google search. But the bad thing is that if you watch for a long time on this kind of electronic board, you have eye problem you may have. It's demotivating. You will start yawning and you will feel bad, right? It's not easy to continue watching like this for more than 20 minutes. Okay, these are the questions. Then quotations. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Do you agree? Imagination is more. Thomas Alva Edison, the Prince of Inventions, is he? Thomas Alva Edison, the Prince of Inventions, is said to once he sat on a dozen of eggs because he imagined if a hen sits on the eggs and it hatches chicken, and because of warmth, so I can also sit on the eggs and I can hatch. And all the eggs broke and his knicker was dirtied, right? He was so imaginative, playing with his imagination. And with this kind of crazy play, he made so many inventions. Today, he is known as the Prince of Inventions. He invented electricity. Thomas Alva Edison, for example. So, I'll say imagination is more important than knowledge. All knowledge begins with imagination. All knowledge begins with. I was watching a video on Facebook where they're showing around 2001, around 1990 in Hollywood movies, they were imagining about technology. And I was seeing that all the technology that actors were talking about 30 years before or 40 years before, we have it today. Back then there was imagination. Today we have, right? Then, give me a fish and I'll eat for a day. Teach me to fish and I will eat for a lifetime. See, when you give somebody a fish, today in this class I'm giving you fish. Today in this class I'm giving you fish. If I give you a fish, it will depend on me. You will eat, and when you are hungry tomorrow, you will say, Divakasa, where is the fish? I mean, if I teach in this way, this is a wrong way of teaching. This is a wrong way of teaching. If I teach you this way, by lecturing, by giving content, then you will memorize. Then if you have to read another essay, you can't read. So point here is, a teacher should not deliver content like this. A teacher should teach skills about how to read. Maybe we'll do in a while, or we may not do today. Education is an admirable thing, but it is well to remember from time to time that nothing that is worth knowing can be taught. Oh God. Nothing that is worth knowing can be taught. I am not comfortable with this quotation because I am teaching you. If nothing worth knowing can be taught, why should I have this job? But the point here may be, true knowledge does not come from outside, from a teacher. True knowledge emerges from your inner reflection. True knowledge emerges from your own talk with yourself. Pondering, thinking, reflecting. These are the good habits. Then teachers no longer feel that it is incumbent on them to instill patriotism or to celebrate the accomplishments of the American nation. Here this quotation says, what is the purpose of education? Here it says that in the past, the purpose of education was instilling the feeling of patriotism in students. But that is changing today. Today, the purpose of education is equipping you with those skills which the market will require 4 years from now when you go into the market. Right? So, by attending this BBIS program, when you get the degree and go to the market, you should feel that your teachers have given you all the skills that you need to survive in the market. Right? We are not teaching about patriotism today. No. Have you seen today education does not focus on moral education, right? Then the greatest danger of traditional education is that learning may remain purely verbal. Look here. Learning may remain purely verbal, where people talk and don't do. Learning by talking. This is a bad thing. I am talking or listening. And listening is the poorest method of learning, because when you listen, you forget most things. Listening, you forget 70%, 80%. You have only 20%. Seeing, you forget almost, let's say, 60%, and you have 40%. Doing, you forget only 20%. You remember 80%. So what I do at home, how do I prepare my class? Yesterday I was preparing this class. I have a whiteboard at home, and when I go home, take my food, and then get into my class at home, pick up my marker, and focus the camera, and I start teaching in my empty room. I teach the essay. There is no one. Sometimes my wife laughs at me. What are you doing? And I say, I'm learning. Because when I teach, I learn. Right now, I'm learning. You are not learning. If I call you here and say, teach, you will learn. So when I call you and say, okay, present, teach, feel comfortable. Because that's how you learn. This is comfortable. You are sitting there comfortably listening to my stories, right? But this is not the way to learn. Right learning comes when I sit over there and you come here and you present. So whenever I call you, take it easy. Okay. Learning may be purely verbal. The true test of intelligence is not how much we know how to do, but how we behave when we don't know what to do. Oh, how well said. Look. It's not how much we know. It's not how much we know how to do, right? It's how we behave when we don't know what to do. When we have a problem, when we face a problem, then how do we respond? That's what education is. So, Intelligence is how you tackle your situation. Intelligence is how you tackle your situation, how you deal with difficulties. That's intelligence. It's not about knowing a lot of things, right? Okay. I've almost forgotten how, yes, here. Okay. Okay, now we get into the essay. Co-reading 1, school is bad for children. In your journal, it says write. So first task is writing. Write for, take a pen and copy. Get ready. Take out copy. For 10 to 15 minutes about what comes to mind when you read the title, school is bad for children. Okay, take a copy. Ready? Quickly. Now, when I say start, you will do the job. What you do, when I say start your job is, go back to your primary school and remember your teachers, friends, classrooms, everything, and try to remember all those bad experiences you had in school. Not good. I'll begin with my experience. When I was taken to class 5 in new school, the place was Lakshmiganj in India. And to my shock, what my teachers did, I will get into the classroom at 10 o'clock. Teacher will come. It was like this big classroom, no desks, no benches. We sat on the ground. And they appointed the tallest boy as a monitor. And the teacher would give the boy a stick. And he will say, okay, मैं दरवाजा बाहर से बंद कर देता हूँ और तुम इनको पीटते रहो. We'll sit around, and that giant boy who was monitor, the giant boy in the class was monitored automatically. If you are physically giant, you are monitor, because the job was to beat others. And then he will go on tap, tap, tap on our head. How long? 2 hours. Nobody came to teach us. And what he did? He went outside and he locked the door from outside. And later we found that all teachers do this in that school. And what do? They lock all children in classroom. They gather in principal's room. They play cards there. They play cards there. And around 12:30, they will come and open our room. We'll walk out like people from jail. And there was a sugar factory nearby. Sugar factory nearby. We'll run to the factory. Children, very hungry. We had no tiffin box with us. And we'll ask farmers, Uncle, ek ganna dijiye na. And they will see children. They will feel kind to children. Bhuk lagi hai? Haan, bhuk lagi, ganna dijiye na. And they will give us a piece of sugar cane. We'll chew quickly. And with sugary hand, with the juice, without cleaning, we'll come back to classroom. They will again lock us and say, okay, inko marte raho. That's my experience in one school. 1978, I guess, Lakshmiganj place. And school's name was Lakshmiganj Primary School. Even today, if you use Google Earth, you can see my school. And sometimes I go back. I recall my memory, oh God, oh, how horrible my teachers were. Right? I thank God I studied only 1 year. And my father got transferred next year. Now, I gave example. Your time starts now, 5 minutes. Remember, as many bad experiences in primary school, 5, 10, 4, 5, your time starts now. The rule is you must keep writing very fast. Please don't stop your pen. Don't stop your pen. Remember as many unpleasant experiences as you can from your primary school days, and just write. No worry about grammar and language, nothing. Just recall the memory. What bad experiences you had in your primary school. Okay, I guess by now you have at least a couple of experiences, right? Examples, I guess. Let me move ahead. Okay. Can I invite some of you, anybody, just to share your experience as I did? Anyone can share. Could you just please raise your hand and tell, Divakar, here is my experience. Anybody? Just let's share. Because I want other teachers to watch the video and know, right, how you feel. Can someone share? Hello. I want to read about your experience. Anyone can share me. Okay, I won't read out. I'll read silently. Give the paper to me. I'll read out. I'll read silently. I won't read out. Okay. So sad to hear about it. So sad to hear about it. Can I see? Weird experience, right? Weird. Can I read? It's all right. I can figure out. Okay. Okay. Interesting things are emerging. Can I just see quickly? My experience similar, right? Your similar experience like mine. It's all right. I can just guess what's coming up. Okay, keep on writing. Please let me read your experience. Just give me your copy, I'll read. Can I read it? Just you can give me a copy and I feel like maybe your experiences maybe are too bad to share, right? Is that the experience? Sometimes we have this feeling they are too personal, they are too sad, too bad, and we want no one to share. But have you seen, when you write like this, your mana, Nepali mana, becomes haluka. It becomes haluka. That's why writing is a therapy. Writing is a therapy. When you feel sad, just pick up your pen and write why you are feeling sad. You will see that your sadness decreases. Okay, let's move ahead. No problem. Okay, stop now. I was willing to read on camera and I was willing to share these things with teachers who will watch my video. But anybody, I won't name you. I want at least one or two examples read on camera. I won't name you. Anyone who says, Divakar, read my experience? Without pointing out, I read about like somebody said they appointed monitors who used to punish us. Somebody said there was a weird behavior from another classmate. Somebody said they were beating, slapping. They slapped, right? So we all have similar experiences. Why don't you do one thing? If you have Facebook pages, this afternoon, post one post on Facebook where you recall your school days and let others read it. I'll appreciate if you just snap the picture and send me back. Divakar said, it is my status today. I want the world to know about such things, right? They will change, I guess. Okay, let's move ahead. So write a list of what you consider to be the major problems. Okay, take a new page. Open new page. Open new page. And on top, write problems with education system in Nepal. Right? Heading problems with educational system in Nepal. I'll give you 3 to 4 minutes. 3 to 4 minutes. And jot down point-wise What problems have you observed? Your time starts now. Jot down point-wise what problems of educational system have you observed in Nepal. Please jot down point-wise what problems of educational system have you observed in Nepal. My battery may go down, and if the camera shuts down, it's okay, we'll have another camera. Okay, I guess you have at least one problem. Can I share your problem? Okay. At least one problem. Who has got a problem? Okay, I guess she seems to have got one. Okay, passive learning. Good. Our class started with that example, right? Almost for 10-15 minutes, I was talking and talking. That's too bad, right? Passive learning. We read, we should be within the books. Okay, that's another problem. Only what book says is correct. If you do not agree, you're wrong. There is no active learning. Okay, teaching in primary school didn't teach us. Okay, continuing. Go on. At least one problem. Can I share what you have got? Your experience? Okay. Okay, teacher-centered. Okay, good. No active participation from students. Okay. Focuses on marks only. Yes. Grades, nothing else. No creative learning, rote learning, memorizing, right? I do agree. No two-way communication between teacher and students. Okay, tests and checking process is quite terrible, right? It creates fear. Favoritism. Oh, teachers favor some students and they ignore others. Can I read yours? Just okay. Can I read yours? No practical knowledge. Okay. Lack of qualified teachers. Bookish knowledge. Okay. Good idea. Yeah. Lack of qualified teachers. That is, teachers with qualification, degree, but no experience. Teachers have degree, but the problem is you have to allow people to begin, right? Somebody has to begin without experience, right? To gain experience. I do agree. Yes. Then we have the teaching style is not very involving for the students, boring for the students to not interact. Okay, teacher favoring some and ignoring others. Can I read yours? Okay. The education system in Nepal is only focused on book knowledge, no practical knowledge. Okay, good. Can I see? Okay. There is a lack of cooperation, right, between teacher and student. Okay. Then they are judged with their marks. Okay. Lack of communication. Good ideas. Can I share yours? Huge number of students in class. Okay, good. Passive learning. Study for exam only. Lack of implementation of knowledge in our daily life. Not practical education. Good. Can I see yours? Okay. Center to teacher. Classrooms are supposed to be a place for learning, but they are learning beyond the classroom real life. There is no practical. Too much expensive education system. Hard for poor people. Okay, good. Okay, so we saw a number of examples of problems in the education system. Let's move ahead. Okay. To what extent do you agree with the following statements? Fill in each blank with strongly. Okay. Schools should abolish compulsory attendance. Today, I haven't taken attendance yet. I might take, I might not. So do you think it's a good idea to throw this in the dustbin? No? No? I see every day, before I leave my class, you approach me and say, Divakar sir, make sure my attendance is marked. You are very particular. And if I forget, why do you worry so much about attendance? Because you have heard that we count number of present days and we give you award marks for that, right? So you do not want to miss even a single day. So what is, see the bad thing? The wrong idea is that you associate presence with grading, right? And you are very particular. Whatever happens, I shouldn't be marked as absent, right? But here is proposing that we should abolish compulsory attendance and allow you, come if you want, don't come if you don't want. I like that idea. You should not come to college because Divakar sir will take attendance. You should come to college because you are so inspired by Divakar sir in his class that you feel his class more motivating than your home. And you come. See the challenge. If attendance is gone, the new challenge that appears is that the teachers should be so good at teaching, so inspiring, so motivating that students themselves feel like coming to college. That's a good idea, I think, isn't it? But that's a big challenge, right? And I don't think I can motivate you at all to come to college. I don't think, right? Okay, then tests are a good way to measure a student's mastery of course material. Do you think midterm exams, setup exam and final exams, they test your knowledge? Do they? Do they test your knowledge or mastery of material, or do they test your memory? You agree they test your memory? So the way we take exams are not very effective, right? They test our memory. Okay. Most students' formal education has little connection to real life. Many of you said, right? I do agree that our education is more theoretical. And when you go in the field, you are not able to apply them, right? High school students should be required to take courses in religion, politics, art, music and sex education. Do you think that in this class we should have sex education? Difficult to say? About a taboo kind of topic? No? You're open, I know, you're open. What do you say in this college? I say, you people are liberal, open, and you talk easily about such things. And that's a good thing. It's good to talk about sex and lead healthy life than not talk about sex and lead a poor life. Right? There's nothing wrong in talking scientifically about sex. There's a book I will encourage you to read. Girls can read. There's a book titled Every Woman. I read long ago. Every Woman. This book has been written by a doctor, Derek Levline, D-E-R-E-K-L-E-V-L-Y-N-E. Derek Levline has written one wonderful book, Every Woman. That book explains all sexual aspects of women's life. And that's a wonderful resource to have good scientific knowledge on sex. And the same doctor has written another book, Every Man. So if you are looking for, today, in my school days, I bought this book because we had no internet. Today you just go Google and you see all the good and bad things there, right? So you don't need to read a book. Okay, there's another book by Johnson and Johnson. Very famous book. The name of the book is Johnson and Johnson on Human Sexuality. That's a wonderful book about this topic. Okay, move ahead. So, religion. Should we teach you religion? Yes. Why? It will give you moral education? No idea. Music? Yes, right? More people said yes, right? I had music in my bachelor's. One paper I took was instrumental music, and I learned playing sitar. right? The camera has gone. Now let me just a minute.